Hello all. So in today's session we are going to discuss about the methods of correction of interfering and modifying input. In the last class I have taught about what are the various possible inputs that may interact with the measuring instrument while we are performing a particular measurement. So what are the different type of input? Desired input, modifying input and interfering input. The effect of these inputs on the measurement as well as on the output is explained in detail in the previous video, so you can watch it. So in this session we are going to discuss how to remove these unnecessarily occurring inputs, that is how to remove this interfering as well as modifying input affecting the output that we are obtaining in the display. So for that purpose there are various methods by which we can remove this interfering input and modifying input from the output. So in that, first method is the method of inherent insensitivity. Method of inherent insensitivity. By this method, while we are designing a measuring instrument, the various elements of that measuring instrument should be constructed or should be designed in such a way that that instrument in total is only sensitive to desired input, whereas that instrument is insensitive to unwanted inputs, unwanted or spurious input such as interference input as well as modifying input. So this method is implemented during the design of the measuring instrument. During that time itself we should make sure that the instrument is designed so that it will be sensitive or it will detect only the desired input and other unwanted inputs will be rejected by this instrument. Okay, there is an example given here, a strain gauge. A strain gauge is used to measure the strain, so it should not measure other unwanted input or other unwanted noises, and the accidental interfering input that may occur or that may encounter with the strain gauge is temperature difference. When the temperature changes, there is a chance of the strain gauge to change in its resistivity, as well as the strain measured will also vary during such cases. So by this method we should develop a strain gauge such that the strain gauge material, the gauge material has an extremely low temperature coefficient of resistance. During that time it should retain the sensitivity to strain also. Okay, so if you are using such a gauge material that has extremely low temperature coefficient of resistance, then with the variation in temperature it will not change the strain. Okay, that is in such cases the strain gauge material will be only sensitive to strain, whereas it is insensitive to temperature difference. That is an example by this method. So by this method, even though this II and IM, II is interfering input and IM is modifying input, even though these inputs may exist, but this cannot affect the output, because even though this exists, but our instrument will not detect it, because our instrument is insensitive to these inputs. Okay, so that is why the effect of these inputs on the output, the effect of interfering input on the output is Fi, whereas the effect of modifying input on the desired input is FMT. So this effect will be 0. Okay, as a result in our output we will obtain only ID. ID is desired input. Okay, this is the first method of removing this interfering as well as modifying input. Second method of high gain feedback. Method of high gain feedback, you can see an open loop system here and a closed loop system here. Okay, so to explain this, suppose we are measuring a voltage EI. We are measuring a voltage EI. See this open loop system. Voltage EI. This voltage is applied to the motor. And the motor output is torque. and this torque is acting upon a spring, and this spring causes displacement as the output. Okay, so here input is EI, that is voltage, and the output is displacement x naught. So here this output displacement, that is x naught, is proportional to, or this can be made proportional to, input voltage EI by the proper designing of this motor section and the spring section. Okay, so this motor section, we can represent the function of the motor, or we can represent the constant of the motor as Km. Similarly, of that of spring as Ksp. Spring. Effect of this motor section on the output is given by FMD, and here IM1 is the modifying input here, whereas spring is the another modifying input IM2, and the effect of this IM2 is FMD2. Okay, so you can see this is an open loop system. So our equation will become as x naught is equal to KMO into KSP into EI. Okay, so here due to the inputs IM1 and IM2 exist, that is modifying inputs IM1 and IM2 exist here, and due to the presence of them, this KMO and KSP will cause changes in the output. So here the modifying inputs IM1 and IM2 exist, and they will cause changes in KMO and KSP that will lead to errors in the relation between EI and x naught. Okay, you can see from this equation x naught is proportional to EI and the proportionality constant is KMO and KSP. So as this IM1 and IM2 changes, or depending upon this IM1 and IM2, this KMO and KSP will cause errors in this relation between this input and output. Okay, so here no removal takes place. For that purpose, we are doing a feedback session in the next figure. You can see here in the next block diagram, you can see there is a feedback. We have given a feedback session from the x naught to the input, and a feedback device is also given whose gain is KFB. Okay, you can also see an amplifier session here whose gain is KAM. So by this feedback device, the output x naught is converted to another output voltage E naught, proportionality output voltage E naught, that is here E naught is proportional to x naught. Okay, that is E naught is equal to KFB into x naught, and this E naught is given back to the input summing device, and this is actually an error signal, and this E naught is subtracted from the input EI, and the error signal is given to amplifier, and the amplifier amplifies this error signal, and the amplifier output is given to the motor, which will drive this motor, and again the corresponding x naught is modified, that is modified output is obtained. Okay, so while operating such a device, what is the advantage? There is here an automatic detection and automatic correction of the output is taking place. Okay, actually in such a closed loop system, the effect of this KMO and KSP can be avoided, can be neglected. In open loop system, we have seen that the presence of KMO and KSP will lead to the errors in the relation between this EI and x naught. Okay, but by employing this type of high gain feedback, we can avoid the effect of KMO and KSP from affecting the relation between this EI and x naught. Okay, so how it is possible, let us see. So here in the high gain feedback system, we have given the feedback x naught, and we have generated another output voltage E naught, and it is subtracted from the input EI. So we will get the relation as EI minus E naught into the multiplication of all the three gains, that is the EI minus E naught is the output here, and it is multiplied by all the three gains KAM, KMO, KSP. So here we will get EI minus E naught into KAM into KMO into KSP, which is this equation. Okay, so multiply it, expand it, then we will get this equation. This is equal to X naught. Okay, that is the multiplication, that is the X naught here. Okay, from this relation we can find out the X naught in terms of EI and these gains. Okay, so we will get this equation: X naught is equal to KAM, KMO, KSP divided by 1 plus KAM, KMO, KSP, KFB into EI. Okay, so here, okay, so one more thing is done here, that is E naught. E naught is changed to KFB into X naught. You can see that E naught is equal to KFB into X naught. Okay, so it is changed here. So you will get this equation finally, and in this equation, this KAM, what is KAM? KAM is the gain of the amplifier, and this gain is in our hands. That is, we can change this gain. We can increase this gain or we can decrease this gain. So here we are increasing this amplifier gain. KAM is increased such that it is so high so that we can neglect this one. Okay, so that what will happen, this one is neglected, so here KAM, KMO, KSP all will be cancelled out from the numerator and denominator, and we will get the relation between X naught and EI as this equation 2.11. X naught is equal to 1 by KFB into EI. What is KFB? It is the gain of the feedback device, and EI is the input here, X naught is the output. So we got a relation between this input and output, and the only proportionality constant is 1 by KFB, and all other gains, that is amplifier gain, motor gain, spring gain, everything is removed from this relation. Or we can say the relation between this EI and X naught is independent upon this KAM, KMO and KSP. As a result, the changing in that modifying inputs, as a result, even though if IM1 and IM2 is exist here, the effect of these two is neglected from the relation between output and input. Okay, the only effect we require is feedback device. Okay, so in this way we can remove the modifying input by using a high gain feedback. Now going to third method is method of calculated output corrections. Calculated output corrections. By this method, so in this method we should know the magnitude of interfering and modifying input, and if we know the magnitude of these inputs, then we can understand how they will affect the output. As a result, their effect can be deleted or their effect can be removed somehow from the output. Okay, so for this purpose the corrections can be made only after knowing the magnitudes of interfering and modifying input. Okay, so that is a method here. By calculating or by understanding somehow the interfering and modifying input, the value of the input as well as the effect of this input on the output, then we can remove or filter out this effect from the output itself by using some other opposing signals. Okay, so that is this method. In the figure 2.10, that is in the previous class, we have a manometer example we have seen here. In this method, if we know the temperature, here the what are the modifying input that may possible here? Temperature difference and the gravitational force. So if we know the value of this gravitational force and the temperature rise or the effect of the temperature rise on the manometer, then we could possibly remove the effect of the this temperature rise as well as gravitational force from the output. This is an example here. Okay, so for that purpose we need to know what the effect of the gravitational force change upon this manometer when we keep this manometer in different places. Okay, so this is an example here, and Next method of signal filtering. The next method is method of signal filtering. Okay, so by this method we will just filter out the unwanted input. Here you can see it is this method is input filtering. Here we will keep a filter both in the interfering input as well as in the modifying input. Okay, so here the input will be filtered by here itself. As a result, the output I dash will be 0 here. Similarly, in the modifying input we will keep an input filter next to the modifying input, and as a result the Im dash obtained in the output of this filter will be 0. Okay, as a result the effect of this interfering and modifying input on this desired input will be 0. That is FMI, Fi as well as FMD will be 0 here. As a result, in the output we will obtain only ID. Okay, that is the output from this section is 0 and this section is ID. So ID plus 0 we will obtain output as ID. So this is input filtering, and in this section you can see the output filtering. That is, here filter is kept in the output section. Okay, so here in the output after the summing device you will get an output, and this output section consists of the effect of both this interfering as well as modifying input. Okay, as a result the output over here is divided to 3 components: OI, OD and OM. OI is output due to interfering input, OD is desired output, and OM is output due to modifying input. So here 2 filters are used, one to filter out the output of interfering input, next one is used to filter the output due to modifying input. As a result, the output of this filter OI dash and OM dash will be 0. As a result, the summing up device output will be the output what we require. That is, here what happens, OD plus OI dash plus OM dash, but here OM dash and OI dash is 0, so we will get OD as the output. That is, the desired output will be obtained in the output. So this is output filtering. Okay, next one is the method of opposing. Okay, the last method, the method of opposing input. Here what we are doing, we are giving an intentionally we are providing an opposing input which oppose the interfering input or modifying input. Okay, so here also we require to know the value or magnitude of the interfering input, then only we can generate an equal and opposite interfering input, and this equal and opposite interfering input will cancel out the effect of the interfering input. As a result, here you can see the output of the interfering input will be 0. Okay, that is, the unavoidable interfering input is cancelled out by the intentionally introduced interfering input. As a result, the interfering input is cancelled out and we will get 0 in the output. Okay, so in the output summing up device we will obtain only the desired input. Here what happens in the summing device, OD is the output due to desired input, OD plus the output from the interfering input, but here it is 0, so we will get OD plus 0, so we will get output as the desired input. Okay, so this is the method of opposing input. So in this method is actually similar to method of output corrections, calculator output corrections. Okay, because here also we should know pre-hand what will be the magnitude of interfering and modifying input, then only we can nullify the effect from the output. But in this case, in the method of opposing input, this happens automatically. Okay, that is, this interfering input is detected automatically. As a result, this happens automatically. Whenever there is a change in interfering input, then this also will change. As a result, this output of the summing device is kept 0 always. Okay, so as to maintain the output as a desired input. So that is the only difference between this method and the output due to calculator correction, method due to calculator correction. Okay, so these are the various methods in order to remove the interfering as well as modifying input. Okay, so that's all about the session. Thank you.